Start, it's 9 o'clock, call this meeting to order. Commissioner Kodesh, would you lead us in an invocation and pledge of allegiance, please?
Let us pray. As we gather here today for this meeting, we pause to express our gratitude for the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We acknowledge the tireless efforts and unwavering commitment he showed in the pursuit of justice, equality, and freedom for all. May we be inspired by his example as we come together to collaborate, discuss, and work toward common goals. Let his dedication to unity and love guide our interactions and decisions. As we embark on the agenda set before us, may we be mindful of the values that Dr. King held dear: equality, justice, and the dream of a better world for every individual. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first order of business is approval of the minutes from January 4th. Motion, please.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Treasurer's report. Should we pay any bills, Madam Treasurer?
Yes, we should. Good morning. The following were reported to the treasurer's office as paid. Accounts payable with a total of $1,297,985.33. Payroll for the period was $373,510.18. 911 account had 8 checks, 3 EFTs, totaling $77,208.06. Liquid fuels, 2 checks were paid totaling $22,385, and LEPC had 1 check for $199.28.
Is there a motion to pay these bills?
Make a motion. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Bills will be paid. Continue.
Great. Treasurer's report for the period 1/3 through 1/16/2024. We had a general account starting balance of $1,118,442.15. Total debit/deposits of $1,742,523.71, giving us an ending balance in general of $1,189,470.35. And then finally, capital reserve account has a balance at the end of the period of $16,697,320.42.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept the treasurer's?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Meetings and events. I neglected to give my list to the chief clerk, but I will for incorporation in next minutes. Commissioner Weiss, will you do the same?
I will.
Thank you.
I provided mine yesterday, so they
Well,
have
good
my
for you.
list. I'd like to welcome Ava Liebegott and Grayson Haynes from MCTV here today. Thank you for filming for us.
Okay, thank you. Any public comment for this morning? Hearing none, we'll proceed. New business. Request for exoneration of 2023 county portion of per capita taxes. Lewistown Borough has 150. Armagh Township tax collector has 9. We'll move the motion to approve or disapprove.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Resolution number 31 of 2024, fixing the 2024 tax rate. The millage remains the same at the county millage, that is, remains the same at 15.77 mils, and there'll be a $5 per capita. There's been no change from last year. We will make a motion to approve the resolution 31.
I make the motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Reopening of the 2024 Act 13 Marcellus Shale Legacy Fund application process for round 2. Mr. Letier, tell us why we have to do this and where that $45,000 came from.
Yes, good morning. The initial Act 13, round one was set at $70,000 by the county commissioners. We funded 3 projects in the amount of $24,551, so the residual is $45,449 open for other eligible projects. So we're going to request that you authorize round 2 of the 2024 grant cycle for the Act 13 money. Beginning Monday, January 22nd, the application guidelines will remain the same, other than the projects that were funded during the first round will be ineligible for application during round 2. I will make modifications to the submission deadline, which will be March 11th, 2024. Staff recommendations and applicant presentations will be provided to the Mifflin County Planning Commission at their March 28th meeting, and then final action before you at your April 4th meeting. So that's
Good. So we urge all those eligible to look at the projects for this year and get their applications to you, correct?
correct.
Okay, who will move the motion?
I'll make a motion to reopen. I'll second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Payment application number 1 for the Juniata River Trail Phase 2 project. Jim?
Yes, this is the contract application payment number 1 in the amount of $132,229.33. Total contract between the commissioners and J. Folkroot and Sons for this project is $597,743.60. This project is funded by the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources in the amount of $295,000, and the Department of Community and Economic Development Commonwealth Finance Authority in the amount of $200,000, while the balance of the match for the DCNR portion will be paid from Act 13 money and private contributions. This second phase of the trail will be a 10-foot wide walking and biking trail, approximately 3,100 feet long, parallel to the Juniata River, and also includes an ADA accessible parking lot will be constructed at the end of Riverside Drive. Initially, the substantial completion date was in October. I have a change order I'll bring before you at your next meeting to change the substantial completion to June 2nd of 2024.
Any questions for Jim?
Jim, this includes the paving of the first section, right, that's gravel now?
It does, from Victory Park to
Yes.
to the boat launch.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions? If not, we'll entertain a motion to pay payment application number 1.
I make the motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next on the agenda is the discussion for Mifflin County Library alterations and additions Phase 1, and either award or rejection of bids.
Okay. So this is phase 1 of the Mifflin County Library alterations, and what would take place in phase 1 that was bid was mostly mechanicals, the HVAC, heating, cooling, the electrical, and upgrades to the bathroom, elevator, and we would make a recommendation that you accept these bids pending documentation and bonds. So WSL was a general low bid at $568,407. Allied HVAC base bid and alternate 3 was $592,000, and Brunel Plumbing was $120,000, and Lepley Electric base bid was $203,206. And we would ask that you make that award pending the documents.
Lonnie, where are we know where Lepley's from, it's a Lewistown company, where are the other ones?
WSL is, I believe, Bloomsburg, Allied is State College, and Brunel is also Bloomsburg. So you let's go with Bloomsburg.
Okay.
We did have a total of 11 bidders, so it was a pretty good bid. So and the bids were rather close. So
These are low bids.
these are all the low bids. Correct.
And this motion would be conditional on the approval of final.
The bonds and, the bonds and the signed agreements back from them. Correct.
And when would it get started? Maybe you say that.
There will be a pre-construction meeting on January 25th, and at that point, the general contractor will set the construction date schedule.
Okay, any other questions for Lonnie? We'll move the motion to award bids for the library renovations and alterations.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries.
I'll be cutting it from Susan.
Susan, do you have any comment?
You can come up here beside me.
For the record, Susan Mariello is the executive director of the county library.
I just want to say it's nice to meet you, Mr. Wise, and thank you so much to the commissioners and Lonnie especially for moving forward and valuing the library as much as I and Kelly Rodenbaugh, our children's librarian, and all of the staff and the board do. Thank you.
Susan, as long as you're up there, do you want to, just for the minutes, say something about your temporary operation downstairs with the fingerprinting?
Oh, yes. So you could say that libraries today sometimes need a side hustle in order to make ends meet, to pay staff especially a competitive wage. And so we've opted to not offer a service that somebody else in the county already offers. And when the fingerprint service for employment moved out of the county, I applied, and it was quite the ordeal to be vetted, and now we offer fingerprint service for employment. School teachers, nurses, the library staff, bus drivers will fingerprint them for employment through Identigo, and it's identigo.com. You can make an appointment. It's the library receives a stipend, and we had been doing it in a little dingy hallway in the basement of the library since October, and then the commissioners and Lonnie offered the old coroner's office. So now we have the machine downstairs, and on Monday we'll start doing the fingerprints here. So it will still be library staff who are running it. It'll just be here.
Okay, well, thank you for starting that service.
Thank you.
Anything else for the library? Okay, Lonnie, you're still on for CoStar's enrollment form for electricity procurement services.
So we entered into this agreement initially probably 3 years ago for our electrical use for the whole county. And it's worked out quite well for us, and we are asking for a renewal to engage in another contract with them to put our electrical usage into a big pool of about 1,800 users and get a better rate. So we're asking that you agree to do another, I think it's 3 years.
And Lonnie, this has saved the county money in the past, I believe.
We're running below a budget number that we've used 3 years ago for electric use, so, yes.
Any other questions for Lonnie or on this service? If not, we'll move the motion.
I make a motion. I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank
Motion carries. Thank you, Lonnie. Next, youth level of service usage agreement for the period January 1, 2024 to December 31st. Chief Probation Officer Nick.
Yes, this is our evidence-based risk needs tool. We've been using it for about 7 years now. It determines the supervision levels for the youth coming on probation here in Mifflin County. This is run on all cases. It gets run every 6 months, and then before every case is closed, we run it again. It helps keep statistics and stuff at the state level.
Nick, is there a place where, like a website or something that anybody could go to or we could go to see any cases?
I believe it's on the JCJC website.
Okay.
They have a lot of tools on there to kind of check out the youth statistics and stuff of the state.
And this is a 12-month term.
Yes.
Land at the end of the year.
Yep.
Any questions for Nick? Entertain a motion to approve.
I make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency 911 statewide interconnectivity funding grant agreement. Mr. Lucas.
This is a big name for a supplemental grant to our existing 911 grant used for wireless funds at Next Generation. The grant is for $49,600. The supplemental part of it will pay for connectivity to receive phone calls and data as part of the Next Gen system, and also provide support for GIS mapping systems to keep the system up to date. There's no requirement for county matching funds, and it's paid directly to us.
Yeah, it's 100% grant.
Yes.
For $49,641.75. Okay, there must be a formula or something.
It is a very complex, as I said, this is a supplement to the roughly $1.4 million the county gets for cellular, smart device, and landline telephone calls coming to the 911 center. It's basically based on population.
Okay. Questions? Accept the motion to approve the supplemental grant.
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Phil. We have the reappointment of Mary Herto to the Mifflin County Municipal Authority for a 5-year term.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The appointment of Lauren Kaufman to the Mifflin County Industrial Development Authority for a 4-year term.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The reappointment of Mark Lawson to the Mifflin County Housing Authority for a 5-year term.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have a vault preservation project proposal from, I think it's CoFile Technologies for deed books. And after that, we have a similar contract for Orphans Court and will books.
That one's here.
Ellen, do you want to say something about this? We're prepared to pass the motion, I assume.
It's a restoration
You can
of
come up
very.
here.
Sorry. It's a very old, they're very old books that are being restored through this co-file preservation. And the first book that we have is from 1789. Excuse me. It's just one of the oldest that we have found that we weren't even aware that we had this in our possession. So to be able to have one of the very first things that was handwritten and done from the founders of this county is just amazing. So we're able to preserve that, restore that, and through co-file.
And also digitize it.
And digitize that as well.
Correct. So the first
And,
one.
yeah, and have it beautifully put into pages, and they're gonna try to restore it as best as they can. It's really amazing.
Is that in phases, you said?
Yes, it's in 2 phases.
2 phases.
2 phases.
Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna make a motion to approve both those L and M in one motion. Also, just for the record, note that we had a record improvement fund meeting, and the county record improvement fund will be taking care of 50% of the bill there, and Ellen's improvement fund that she has for ours will take care of the other 50%.
Okay, so this payment will be coming out of general funds, is what you're saying.
Right. I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
When does this get started?
Yes, he's taken some of the votes
Okay, so it's underway.
underway. Real excited for it.
Great.
Thank you very much.
For our tax claim bureau, we have an offer for a parcel located in Derry Township that is currently in the repository for unsold properties. The offer is $25. We'll either accept or reject that offer.
I'll make a motion to reject the offer.
I second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes to reject the $25 offer. We also have an offer for a parcel also in Derry Township that is currently in the repository for unsold properties. The offer is $25.
Motion to reject.
Second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes to reject the offer of $25. We have an offer for a parcel located again in Derry Township that is currently in the repository for unsold properties for $1,001.
Motion to accept.
I second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries to accept the parcel for $1,001. Personnel items. Resignation of Brianna Metz from security guard effective January 9th. Hiring of Logan Wincock for children and youth caseworker effective January 10th. Resignation of Adam Yoder from part-time corrections officer effective January 17th. Retirement of Brian Flegel from 911 supervisor position effective January 26th. Hiring of Brian Flegel for the part-time 911 telecommunicator effective January 27th. Resignation of Matthew Lutz from part-time correction officer effective January 25th. Hiring of Michael Fonte for the CDBG grant liaison effective January 22nd. Resignation of part-time corrections officer Stiana Long effective January 19th. Resignation of Caitlin Klein from law clerk effective January 26th. And finally, hiring of Rodney Kaufman and Robert Wagner for part-time corrections officer effective January 22nd. Is there a motion to approve these personnel items?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Our agenda is completed, meeting is adjourned.